Add a sublet to a repair order. When we use an outside vendor to do some work for a vehicle at our shop, like turn brake rotors or machine a cylinder head, we pay the vendor for their work and bill the customer for that sublet labor, usually for a profit. Let's open a repair order and take a look. Like adding a part, a labor service line has to be highlighted on the RO to activate the Add a Sublet function. If I had a tow bill for this vehicle, I might put it under a labor code called Sublet, but for turning brake rotors, I would just add it to my brake labor service. It's up to you. Right-click on that highlighted labor line and select Sublet Labor Service, or click the Add Sublets button to open the sublets list, either way. Start to type the sublet code to activate the progressive search, or since our list is still pretty small, we can just double-click on the sublet we need, or highlight the sublet and click the Select button. And note here, we could click the Add Sublet Labor button if the sublet we needed was not on the list, or click the Edit or Delete buttons to make changes to the sublet master record. Let's just click Select, and this opens the Sales Detail Information screen for this sublet labor. Enter the invoice cost for the sublet labor if you know it, and if your quantity is going to be 2, the cost is per item. For example, we have 2 brake rotors to be machined. I'd enter $15 for the invoice cost, $20 for the starting sublet price to the customer, and we can enter a 10% discount and update our quantity to 2 using the spin buttons. Now you can see we are charging our customer $36 for machining both their front brake rotors, and our sublet is not taxable, so I'm not going to check this taxable box. Notice the sublet sale to the customer will earn them MaxxBucks credit through our customer loyalty program. But if you don't give MaxxBucks on sublet work, just uncheck the box, and this is for this one-time sublet labor service. Click the Status button, and we can track where that sublet job is at, when those rotors were sent out to be turned, and when you expect them back, and the status is over here. This status feature can be set up as required, optional, or not tracked from the RO setup section. I have my system set to mandatory, and see, the system wants a return date. So let's go back and select a date and time. OK and OK. Now once we restock the parts invoice from the vendor for machining these rotors, the status will automatically change to back, and when the RO is marked complete, the status will change to installed. Now I have my workstation set to warn me if I have parts on the RO that need to be ordered. This goes for sublets too. So when I exit my RO, the low stock parts notice comes up and says I need to order that sublet, just like it would for a low stock part. Now, doing this function when you're exiting your RO is the best way to keep track of your cost for that specific sublet. And if the cost was different than what we entered, that actual cost will be entered in the sublet sales detail information window automatically. Check in the order column and click Next. Brake rotors are done by Napa for us, and click Next. And save this purchase order until you receive your receipt from Napa for turning those rotors. And then restock that purchase order, and the vendor information and cost will automatically be recorded on the sales detail information window for that sublet job on the RO. And this concludes the lesson on Add a Sublet to a Repair Order.